Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen again. Instead of a recipe, I actually have some devices to review. And we're going to check them out. I'll explain how to use them, the pros, the cons, and these are tofu presses. I got both of them off Amazon. And they're, of course, I'll put the links below. So I hope you guys enjoy. Get it in. Is it water packed? And I mean, it is available in boxes and bags, vacuum sealed, baked, every kind of flavor and texture that you can imagine. But for basic tofu, water packed, it's always important if you're going to stir fry them or throw them on the grill. If you want more of a meaty texture, you have to squeeze the water out of it. And the way we really always did that was on a cutting board, you know, some layers of tea towels or paper towels, a smaller cutting board on top, and then a pot of water or something heavy on top of that. And you let it sit for a few hours just to kind of squeeze every last bit of water out of it, which is a mess. And, you know, you come back hours later, if it wasn't balanced just right, it's tilting to the side, and then the pot fell over, or you've got tofu squished at one end and not at the other. And, I mean, it works, but it's a real pain in the butt. And that's where these devices come in. And I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. And basically, it's the cutting board idea, but it's got screws on both sides on springs, and basically you put your tofu in between it, and then throughout the day you have to come back and, you know, kind of slowly screw it down. Now this one, the water is going to get all over the place, so I have a tray to put it in. Go ahead and try and get these up to, I don't know, because they're going to really have to be as even as possible. But I already opened these and drained the excess off, even though there's still a lot coming off of it. Now, in the center of now one thing I like about these is they're beveled. So as you're squeezing down, you know, you're not getting more pressure on the ends, and then you've got misshaped, unevenly pressed. So I'm just gonna, I have to up it a little bit more. And, you know, you'd be very surprised how much water really are in these and how much will come off. So try and get that centered. And I'm gonna go ahead and just start spinning these down. Oh, I guess I can't do it that way anymore. And now I'm feeling a little tension. Now, I'm not going to squeeze it down too tight, because I'm sure if I do that it's going to bust right out of the sides. Yeah, it's hard to tell. So I'm just going to squeeze it right about there. And that later on, I'll come back and I'll tighten it down some more until it's right about where I want it. Okay, that's the first one. Now this other one has a couple pieces. Inside is this spring, and there's like some grooves in there that the spring goes into. Okay, this separates. Now this one's got the grooves in there too, so I'm going to actually put that down first. I'm going to take this other chunk of tofu and plop it in there. Now my concern is, how well am I going to be able to get this down the clamp? Let's see if I can. Got one side down. Not quite there. And I got it in there. Now already what I love about this is there's no tofu water flying all over the place, getting all over my counters, my floor, my table. Which means I could just stick this right in the fridge, which is much safer. Wow, I'm surprised it really, I mean, it was hard squeezing it. You know, this is firm tofu. If it was extra firm, I'm pretty sure I would probably have to slice a thin layer off of it. But, I mean, right off the bat, that's the advantage with this one is there's no tray. I don't have to come back later. Now, this one, I'm trying to remember exactly how much I paid. It'll be listed and linked below. I think this was like $20 maybe a little less, and then this one was like right about $24, $25. So I am gonna, that is all over the place, and I don't think I grabbed a towel, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't pour some of this off. Okay, so far I'm really liking this. But I think my concern is it's really in there tight. I really had to push down to latch these, you know, these side things on there. So I'm hoping that when I open this up, it isn't just squished into nothingness where it just breaks apart and it's worthless for the grill or a stir fry. But we'll find out. So since I can, I'm going to pop this one in the fridge. This one will stay on the counter, and I will have to come back later and, you know, tighten those screws down a little bit more. One of the advantages I could tell right off the bat with this one is it'll take a much bigger piece of tofu, which is great. You know, I wouldn't have to cut anything down. It does feel like it's blowing out on one side. That top's just not level. I don't know. I think I'm gonna try and just get it in there centered. I mean, I know for you guys, I'm sure it'll be a lot easier. Let's see. You know, it's a lot easier when you can see it, but I don't think I had it centered enough. So I'm going to try and scoot this over just a little bit and get these clamped back down. And later on, I'll come back. I'll keep clamping this down further. Let's see. Yeah, that feels a lot more level. A lot of water coming off. Oh, yeah. So, I'll be back. We'll find out how this works. Okay, I'm back. And I'm going to start with opening this one. I still can't get over how much water came out of this thing. Set that aside. And I'm going to put this out on a plate. There. Wow, I am really impressed. It's not blown out on the sides. It's quite thinner than it was. Super nice and firm. I'll bet this will definitely stir fry amazing, because that's the other thing. If you don't press out enough of the water out of your tofu, it sticks like absolute crazy. So I'm really loving this one. And I've got this out of the way. I've got this screwing one. Still a lot of liquid came off. This would have to definitely be on the counter or near a sink. And let's get this unrolled. And I only came back twice to twist it down anymore. I could feel on the sides it was definitely blowing out. And let's try and get that out of there. actually, it did a really nice job. Got some blowout here on the side where it's a lot softer. Yeah, I could feel it. The texture, it's nowhere as firm and kind of springy as the one that came out of this plastic one. But still, really nice job. For somebody like myself, blind, or even somebody who's vision impaired, this one is going to be a lot harder, but it has great value because this one can really take a large slab of tofu. And when you're cooking for a large family, or you're having a vegan dinner party, that can save you a lot of time. You have to have extra room in your fridge because if you really should let this sit all day or at least overnight. And then you have to have a big enough tray for it to fit in. Otherwise, you got tofu water all over the place. So honestly, for me, having them both would be great. If I had to choose just one, it would definitely be this one. The way it sits in there, it prevents it from blowing out. You get so much more even pressure with this one. I really like it. But then this one, like I said, if it wasn't for being blind, it would be a lot easier for me to use. So they both have their place. So it's really going to come down to cost. I mean, they're both pretty amazing. Like I said, there's a lot of designs like this one out there. And what made me decide on it is the fact that it's bowed. Because otherwise, as you're clamping down, those ends are going to get closer and the middle's going to kind of bubble up. But this prevents it. They're both great. So it's really going to come down to personal preference and price, which one is cheaper. So I'm going to go ahead and put a link down below. One of these is definitely going to be dinner. I'm going to chop it up. I've got a bunch of shiitakes that I need to use up. So I am going to make a whatever I have in my refrigerator stir fry. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope that you hit the thumbs up and click that little bell so you get my upcoming recipes. And I have quite a few things in the works. With COVID-19, some of the restrictions are finally being lifted here in Illinois. Grocery delivery, Instacart seems to have gotten their act together. Before I couldn't even get delivery. That it would be a week before they would even give me a date, and by the time that came around, they'd be out of everything. It was just a mess, but they seem to have gotten it figured out because all of a sudden, when I need groceries delivered, I can have them here within 2 hours. So, thank you for watching. Links are below. You guys be good and take care of yourselves.